Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to Webinar Wednesday. Today, we do have a presentation on how to build immersive micro simulations featuring video. I do encourage questions, but if you do have questions, please submit those via the Q&A box below. We have about 15 minutes of your time here today, so we do promise to be concise and finish up on time. If we do finish up at exactly 12:15 and we have outstanding questions, we will stick around and answer those questions for you. Or if you're not completely ready to ask those questions, feel free to go to our website pulled up here on the screen. You'll click the contact us button and then feel free to send over those questions. We have a group of panelists from eTrain here today, and I would like to introduce Ben Barnard, Director of Artwork, and he'll be presenting for us today. Ben?
All right. Thank you, Don. So I'm going to go right into the tools, and I'm already here in the editor. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a video as a background for my sim. I'm going to set up some play controls. So a segment of the video will play, the video will pause, and then highlights will come up, and we'll have some clicks so the users will have something to make a decision on with that video. So I'm going to start by just naming the encounter and then adding my background. And adding backgrounds, video backgrounds to our sim is just as easy as adding images. Instead of custom image, I'm going to go to video. I'm going to choose my video. I'm going to add it in there. And because the video and the file size is a little large, it's going to take a little bit of time to load. And while it's doing that, I'm going to talk about a couple of things. So I'm going to be using actions to control the way the video plays, and it just presents me more opportunity and power in how I present the video to the users, more control for me. There are basic play controls that are part of the state. So if I want the video to just play throughout the state, I can use those very basic controls as part of the state, and I don't have to worry about actions for that. So it's just two different paths. And here the video has loaded. You can see those play controls here for autoplay, loop, and mute. And I'm just going to ignore those for the moment. This video starts out black. That's why it looks this way. But if I grab the time slider and I move it, you can see we have video here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first start by adding my play controls to control when the video starts and when the video pauses. We go to my actions, add action, and under video background, we have toggle play pause. And this one action we're going to use to both play and pause the video when we get to that point. So I'm going to set it to play, and I'm just going to drag the time slider to the point in time where I want the video to start. I'm going to start it right there. I'll close that, and I'm actually just going to duplicate this action, select it, and set it to pause, and then once again drag that time slider out to the point in time where I want that video to pause. And what he's going to do is he's going to take off his badge. So I'm going to pause the video right before that. I'm going to have my highlights set up. I'm going to ask the user to choose what they should do next. Should they take off the badge or should they put on the mask? It's probably a bit of a giveaway that he's looking at his badge right now, but we can make that work. Well, let's just start right there. So this is where the video pauses. And now I want to set up my highlight. So I'm going to grab my state, create a highlight, and name it badge, click add. I'm going to drag it to the correct location, make it yellow so it's easier to see, and increase its size a bit. And click save. And then while I'm here, I'm going to create another highlight of a mask that's sitting there on the table. Drag it into place, change its color, increase its size a bit, and then click save. And now I'm just going to add my clicks. So for the badge, I'm going to add a click here, put on mask, or take off badge. This is going to be my correct choice. And the mask is going to have an incorrect choice. That and make that incorrect. Now I'm going to preview it. just to see how things are working out. Let's skip through my pre-training. Video plays. We're going to talk about these highlights here in a second. But the video should pause in time, and then I can make my choices. Now, the issue that I have is that my highlights appeared before I was ready for them to appear. Now, sometimes when you're working with video, you want the highlights to be visible the entire time. But if you don't want them to be visible until the video pauses, we have a way to do that. So I'm going to grab the state, go back to my actions list, go to add action, scene, and then toggle highlight. And what we're going to do is we're going to tell these highlights to be hidden at the very beginning of the state. So I'm going to select them and add them to my target list, and then click hide. And I'm going to drag this to the top of the stack because these things go in order. So whatever is here at the top goes first, then second, then third. So at the very beginning of the state, my highlights are going to be hidden. I'm actually going to duplicate it because I want them to appear right after the video pauses. And because this has already been set up and I'm duplicating it, I already have my targets added to the list. So all I have to do is change the state from show or from hide to show. I'm going to preview it again. So my highlights are hidden. Video plays. Video pause. My highlights appear. And then I can make my choice. Now, this is for one state. What if I want more of the video? I want the video to continue. I want to make additional choices. Well, that's easy enough to do. I have my state selected. I'm going to duplicate it. And duplicate is going to copy the video and all the actions and highlights I had already built. So all I need to do is edit those a little bit to make them fit this next sequence. So I'm going to come here to play and pause. And what I want to do is I want to start the video clip where the last one paused. So I'm going to come down here to pause. I'm going to copy this, Control C, or you could write it down. I'm going to go to the action for play. I'm just going to paste that in there, or you could type it in. So this is where the video is going to start for this sequence. And then I'm going to drag it out here again for pause and have it stop at a different time. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to edit my highlights. I'm going to keep the one there for the mask, but I'm going to reuse this one for the badge. So I'm going to go to edit highlight. I'm going to drag it over here to the gloves, click save. I'm going to rename it from badge to gloves. So I have my two highlights. And now I need to make sure that they appear in time. So I'm going to make sure I edit this as well. So these are the leftovers from the previous state. I'm going to clear those out. I'm going to add in my new highlights here for hide. And I'm going to do the same thing for show. Again, this is just to make sure that my highlights appear when they should. So I'm going to click save. I'm going to preview. And actually, before I preview, I almost forgot to do this. I forgot to put my right clicks. So got my click here. Put on gloves. And that is going to be incorrect. This time around, the mask. I'm going to add a click for this. And this is going to be correct. Let's preview it one more time. The video plays. Pauses. I have my highlights. I make my choice. Second state starts. Video plays. It'll pause again. My highlights come up, and I'll make my choice. And I can, continue this process, rinse and repeat through the rest of my sim development process. All right, now I think we have time for questions.
Thank you very much, Ben. So it doesn't look like we have any questions, but I have compiled a list of commonly asked questions. The first one would be, can you use a blend of video and images when constructing these microsims?
You can. There's no limit in how you mix and match these things. I made a sim earlier today. I got images at the beginning, and then I have a video sequence start up, and then I have additional images after it. You can have video or images per state as you need.
Fantastic. Next question is, can you use more than one video within the microsim?
You can use several videos. You don't need to have just one. This is using one longer video, and I've broken up each segment of it per state, but you can use multiple videos as needed.
Fantastic. And last question I have is, once you publish your sim, can you go back and make changes?
Yes, you can. Absolutely. We're all users of the tools here, and we pride ourselves on pushing for flexibility in those tools so that we can prototype and develop and edit as we need. Because when you're making things from scratch, you know, the thing that you imagine isn't always the thing that you end up having to build, and you need that flexibility to make the stuff that you need to make.
Great. Well, I do encourage all attendees to come to next week's webinar Wednesday. Should you have any outstanding questions that weren't answered today by Ben or throughout the video, please feel free to contact us at our website, eTrainETC.com. There should be a few contact us buttons on the home site. And please don't hesitate to reach out for a demo for a more in-depth personal look at our suite of products. And if you miss a webinar Wednesday, feel free to go to our website and watch those videos, or we do also post them on our YouTube channel at eTrainETC. Last week, we did an interesting presentation on how we build a sim by just answering 5 questions. And that's also on our YouTube channel, eTrainETC. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, the rest of the team. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Don. Take care.